thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you.
Another
It's
year.
great to see you again.
Great to see you too. I feel like movies and sports are the biggest things for mass culture coming up. And this year, next year, we have the FIFA World Cup coming next year, 2026, the 2028 Olympics just around the corner. And I feel like now is the time to really plot out how to engage with fans. What do you feel brands need to borrow from cinema to stand out in sports-centric spaces?
Great question. Thanks again for having me. I think that one of the biggest things that make movies so popular is the anticipation. When the trailer drops, people get really excited. They think about the film and who they're going to see it with, where they're going to be. And I think that whole journey of the consumer experience as they plan to go see the movies, that's something that can be kind of mirrored as it relates to how brands activate with sports, not just waiting until the big day, but planning around what that sports experience is going to be like and how the brand can authentically fit in.
It's everything, right? You go to the movies, the popcorn, getting the ticket, the previews, even the experience in the theater when you're just watching movies that really connect with fans. Do you have a favorite sports movie?
I do. I would say my favorite sports movie is A League of Their Own, with Tom Hanks as the sort of bumbling drunk coach of the first women's professional baseball team. And I just watched it with my kids. I like to...
What did they say?
I like to force them to watch my old favorites. They enjoyed it. My son in particular really enjoyed it. And it's always fun when there's something that they like doing today that is reflected in a movie of the past.
We've seen a significant rise in brands co-creating with consumers, with fans, but still more like copy-paste executions that really don't connect as well deeply versus curated brand moves, like things that are really embedded into the content. Can you speak to the range of what's possible when it comes to brands manifesting in movies?
Sure. I think there's a lot of general knowledge about product placement and even movie tie-ins that go a little bit deeper. But I think that two things that what brands are doing now that are really standing out. One is they're really aligning with the film, again, far enough in advance to create custom narratives that lean into either what that movie is going to be about or those characters. We saw a ton of that with Wicked when that came out last year. I think there was a list of 200 brands that were either partners or licensing partners with that film. And there were some really amazing executions. And then the other thing I'd say that is not a copy and paste kind of thing is when brands create their own original IP and longer form storytelling. One example that I know is up for a glass lion here at Cannes is the copy, the final words of Elon Specht, which was the 4 words, because I'm worth it. There's, I believe it's an 18-minute film that L'Oreal is behind telling that story. And I just think that kind of entertainment from brands mirrors the movie-going experience and should be displayed on the big screen.
I agree with that. I love experimenting and pushing against the ways that we do things in advertising, especially. There are things like there are brands like Mountain Dew, Coors Light, giving us slow burn entertainment. The slots for in the Super Bowl, that Super Bowl ad. What brand moves have stuck out to you lately? What is that one brand that you think, oh, they're doing it right, they're connecting with consumers and with culture more than anything?
I think Elf Beauty really stands out. There's another nominee that I love that is the So Many Dicks campaign, which is basically Elf telling the world that corporate America is, all these men named Richard that are on these, I believe, Fortune 500 boards, more so than underrepresented, communities, women, diverse individuals. So, but that campaign, I think, stands out. And it's really on brand for Elf and aligned with their values. And it just kind of goes to show that they are unafraid to push the boundaries and speak the language that their consumer base is excited to hear from them. That campaign makes anyone stop, and hopefully it makes them think and take action as well.
Yeah, I agree. Is there anything that brands are missing right now when it comes to cinema, like missed opportunities that they can really get them talking and being a part of people's lives? Is there anything that you think, okay, this is an overlooked opportunity for brands in cinema?
Well, you mentioned it earlier, right? You go to the movies and you get your popcorn, and there's a whole experience about movie going, which is why it's a 100-plus-year-old medium that people will, continue to enjoy. It's an affordable family and friend shared memory, and I think that the experience brands need to lean into more is activating in the cinema environment, not just an ad on the screen, but the lobby, the experiential opportunities that they have to engage with those consumers the entire way through their journey. When they walk in, they know they're going to hang out in the lobby at minimum to get the popcorn and the candy. That is a really prime place for brands to engage with consumers who are leaned in. They bought a ticket. They're ready to shop. I mean, it's kind of a no-brainer. So I think brands can do more with experiential marketing in the cinema environment.
I'm really excited about Superman coming in July 11, I think. I don't remember. Is there any movie, you mentioned Wicked, but is there any movie that you're very eager to see, and also eager to see if any brand jumps in the opportunity to connect with people in cinema speaking or in any media?
Yeah. Well, so I have kids, so I tend to go to a lot of the family-friendly movies.
The animated ones?
Yeah, we're really excited for Bad Guys too.
Yeah.
And I'm also excited for Smurfs. Rihanna is Smurfette, and we'll be dropping some new music for the first time in years tied to that release. Also, as it relates to brands, I mean, those Smurfs, of course, is kind of endless in terms of you can imagine what brands could do. But I recently learned, I think it's going to be Spinal Tap is doing a reboot or a 30-year anniversary.
Oh, okay.
But a new film. I believe it's coming out in September. And to me, as it relates to that Gen Xer, I think that's you and me, anyone who doesn't know about that movie and the impact that it had, even though it was kind of a niche culty thing, I think there's a huge opportunity for brands to jump in and engage with that same Gen X audience around that movie coming back.
I don't trust people who haven't seen This Is Spinal Tap.
Exactly.
I was watching Best in Show this past weekend with my girlfriend. I confess I have never seen it, and I thought it was amazing.
So
it
funny.
was just so advanced for its time.
Jane Lynch, I mean, she just is like, nails it every time.
Yeah. So yeah, that's one of I confess I haven't seen it, and I'm finishing it. But This Is Spinal Tap is just a must.
We'll have to be on the lookout for that this fall.
Yeah. Well, one last question. Which athlete or sport would you tap into if you have the opportunity to, say, shoot a documentary or a film that you feel passionate about, or a subject that you feel passionate about in a documentary format? Is there any athlete that you can think of, or sports that you would like to tap into?
Yeah. Well, with the FIFA, World Cup coming, and my daughter just made a travel soccer team, so It's a little off the beaten path, but, and there probably have been a lot of movies like this, but I think there could be some documentary style content around the kids sports and travel sports scene. It is really intense. I just got through softball season, and the parents who are volunteers and coaches and the communities that rally around these teams, I think there's probably a lot of stories there, not fictional, actual docu-style stories about the impact of kids sports in certain communities and the way the parents get involved. It's sort of like a Friday Night Lights, but maybe in the soccer or Little League universe. So I'll go with that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about the World Cup next year, especially how will it be in the U.S. Because it's not just one country. There are many, many countries living in our country.
True.
And so it would be very interesting to see fans from Argentina, Mexico, Colombia, UK, Brazil, everywhere. Like all these fans that are just in the US, and how brands will have basically 30 Super Bowls, right? Because it's a 1 month Super Bowl. It's not just one day, but 30 days of games and passion and fans. And so it will be really interesting to see how marketers and brands tap into the fandom that soccer is gaining in the US, especially because it's been increasing a lot.
Yeah.
So that would be something interesting to see as well.
The melting pot of America embracing people.
Yeah.
And I would love a documentary around Aaron Judge as well.
Yeah.
Go Yanks.
Well, I'm sure you're gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
Well, Amy, thank you so much.
Thank you, Ciro. So good to see you again.
Good to see you too.